I'm trying to get onto the next slide. It's actually not moving. So I have been in the industry for close to about 32 odd years plus. And while I worked for various organizations, I would like to show you that. Unfortunately, it's not happening. One second, please. Yeah, have I moved on to next? Do you see my position?
So we could see
Yes,
the
sir.
text.
You can now, right? Okay. So my current position is as a cluster general manager for West India for Radisson Hotel Group South Asia, and I'm the general manager for Radisson Mumbai Andheri MIDC. So basically, this would mean that I have a certain number of hotels in this region which are collaborating with me and under my guidance, but not, I will not get into too many details. But West India generally would mean Maharashtra, Gujarat, Goa, so all the cities within. My experience, as I was mentioning, of over 32 years. I started my career with JP Hotels and Resort. I started working in Delhi. So I worked for 12 years plus in JP Hotels and Resort in various positions. I moved on to Taj Mahal, New Delhi, for just under 4 years, again in F&B service division. For Hyatt Hotels Corporation, I worked in Mumbai and Gurgaon for just under 10 years. And currently, I'm with Radisson Hotel Group, almost 6 years going strong. I worked in food and drinks division, food and beverage, particularly in service. I've also worked for convention and event sales, sales and marketing, and last few years in general administration as a general manager. So this is a brief discussion on my experience, and while I introduce myself, I would like to thank you for your participation in the survey. And while I thank you for the participation, I think we have 200 people in the batch, although we had 66 people responding. But it will be safe to assume, I think, that those 66 people who have responded are much closer to what other uh, batchmates or friends of yours are thinking. So, in this particular presentation, I've actually kept my focus on basically what you have said in the survey, and I'll try and review and give you a feedback and a general understanding from the point of view of a professional who's been in the industry for this long, and with the current situation as to what's happening and what's also going to happen in future. So first of all, be extremely open, and in case you have a question, please make a note of it, because I will be requesting for those questions not in this presentation, however, online, so that I can facilitate certain more sessions for you, requesting my colleagues in the industry or the brand. Good. Shall we move on? Yeah. I think you guys will have to be on mute. I can hear a lot of noise and music. So we'll start with what uh, generally what you have been thinking, and how did you feel, uh, or how did you present or communicate via the survey I had forwarded. So in terms of 55% of you thought that you were, while you were at the Institute of Hotel Management, you are a learner and a good percentile. So that means that majority of you think yourself as learner. So again, before I start, I would say that this survey was a very common generic one. There was no wrong or right answer. So let's understand what's a learner. So basically, a learner is a person who's learning a subject or a skill. So it's very true to what you're doing, what you're actually in a vocational program. That means that you are actually honing your skills onto a particular or a singular professions, which may lead you into various aspects of hospitality or service industry. But for now, this is actually focused at or on one subject and for you to acquire one skill set for a particular unit like a hotel. Okay, so this was a generic and good answer. There is no wrong answer. I said, let's look at the other aspect. Now, the other aspect, which was the blue color, and 32% of you said that you were student. So is this not right? It is absolutely right. You also are a student. So by definition, a person who's studying at a university or other place of higher education. So while you did your secondary and higher secondary, and then you decided to do hotel management, you actually you decided to go for or to a place of higher education, which will hone your skills, your general aptitude towards what you would want to do in future. So this also is a great answer. Now, if we move on, like 12.1% who said that they were professionals, it's also true. Not going by the definition, if I may say, a person engaged or qualified in the profession is also true to your what you're doing right now, because you have chosen a profession, so you're trying to engage in a program which qualifies you into this profession. So this also is a good answer. And eventually, while we get into the various aspects of what we do, what we finalize, what we really get to do in our years to come, and everything changes. You transition into, from a raw to a very shining diamond, and that all is all about training yourself, understanding what you do, the skills that you acquire. So all that is probably being professional, maybe good at your job or whatever you do, that you need to excel in whatever you're trying to do. So when you chose to study the degree, this was a specific direction which is leading you to a vocation. Basically, it's a very focused vocation, and once you attain a certain level of expertise, you gain confidence in what you do, your mannerisms. You have made your first mark at being a professional. So this also was a good answer, and we are all a mixture of it while we are studying in the college. And just FYI, I got out of college in the year 1988. I don't know whether you guys were born then, but I'm sure most of you weren't. But things were same. There was no difference. We had a mixture of students who one would feel they were still learning. Some students, some were really confident in what they were doing. So we all have to understand that this is a mix of what we have to even to begin and begin a career in this profession. So we move on to the next question. So this was I am inspired by. So like the Batman or the Superman. So I would put forth a couple of questions for you to consider. Now, what could be those questions? Are very simple. I mean, were you looking towards the champion, superhero, or film star? There could have been many other aspects which inspire you, but let's look at the questions. So when do we need inspiration or motivation? Whom do we think of when we are troubled and we really feel that you need some support, some counseling, or something which gives you uh, you brings you to peace, gives you an understanding, gives shows you the logic. Okay, so these are the two questions which probably comes to your mind when you look for inspiration. So let's look at a certain set of things you probably look up to. So maybe certain achiever who've already achieved something in their life, and you look up to them. And there are certain people who are really good in what they do, or they're very consistent, and they're truly fighting for whatever they're wanting to do. There are brave hearts who are really, truly, naturally brave, clean, and such souls are, they're looking out for themselves as well as others. So they give you the confidence that they are approachable, or they're the ones who will be able to guide you. In general, leaders, of course, predetermined, pre-identified, and chosen ones who probably can give you an insight of what you're thinking or what will help you. Now, various philanthropists are, this is again a very generic term, so it could be anyone from a reader, writer, a person who's a blogger, or anybody else. Now, within family, there are many people, not necessarily parents, it could be a brother, sister, elder, younger, or an uncle, aunt, or a friend as well, if you call them close enough, you feel they're close enough, they're family to you. Now I've used the word mystical, so don't get confused by the word mystical, because I didn't really want to go into religion or God or something on those lines. So let's see, what do we look for when we really want to get inspired? We want to be motivated. We want inspirations. We want somebody who's a mentor who can guide us as to what we're doing right or wrong and give us the options. And the advice is something which is given but not necessarily taken. So it is also true to the fact that you will have to explain the logic behind that advice, the purpose behind it, so that one clearly understands what it actually means. And definitely somebody who cares. Otherwise, why would you go to him? If somebody doesn't care about you or what you're doing, the person will definitely not be on your list for asking for advice or also get inspiration from. Now, spiritual could be anything: a lucky teddy bear at home, a keychain, color, and anything which spiritually or gives you that peace in mind or the confidence in mind that, yes, this is with me, everything will be okay. I'm sure many will relate to this. So let's look at few things which matter. So, inspiration should come from positivity. So, people who disseminate or who emanate positivity. So, you could always see the glass half filled. And if so, you need to, or you would be able to take out the negativity of yourself or others. And these things are very contagious. So, if you're positive, you definitely will give out those positivity or that vibe to somebody you talk to daily or meet up or interact with. And negativity the same. It's I think all the more contagious. So it is important that we maintain positivity. In terms of professionalism, it's only just to be engaged and being true to your profession and doing your job. So no job is menial. Somebody in my hotel, if he's mopping the porch and he doesn't do it well, he doesn't clean it well, the first impression the guest is going to get while he comes off the porch either would be, oh, fantastic, it's such a clean place, or, oh, this is really dirty, what's going to be inside? Now, to be able to find somebody to inspire, you would feel the person would need to be humility is something which will have to be demonstrated by that person. Or, it could be anything relating to humility is it's not an abstract word, it's a very clean and clear word. Humility does let you be extremely conscious of what's happening around you, and that you do not hurt or say something which may be which may not be appropriate. So humility is practiced in many forms. and do not limit it to only at the time while you're engaged in a profession or on the job, but it has to come from home onto when you're transiting from home, reaching your workplace, going back within your workplace definitely, and at every step of your personal life. So humility is something which should inspire you, and also the humility in you will inspire many other. So this is something which I leave you with. This is food for thought. So this was I think many of you probably felt this was a weird question. Mobile device and color. What would this tell me? So what do we look for in a mobile device and color? Maybe we look for a make or a brand. We look for a particular model. I'm not very familiar with too many phones. So if I take an example of OnePlus, so it's from 1 to 8 right now. Then there is 8T, and then there is Samsung, which has Galaxy and A series and M series, and now something known as FE, which is a fan edition. So, these are various models. So that is one aspect. Operating system is generally Android based on Linux, and of course, iOS, which is Apple. And specs, are they important to you? So this is something which also was probably the point of view of you to identify a particular device. And color, why color? Let's see my thoughts on this. So once we are looking at a brand, it could be a hotel brand. So that brand, does it gives you the image of a good brand, a trustworthy brand, a brand which you'd like to associate with. So it is important for you, correct? And onwards to the model, because I'm sure while you look forward to, you'll do certain amount of research while you select the model, and you hone down to, or you actually you aim at a particular model that really gives you what you're looking for. So that research is important, and understanding what is it that really will help me in all aspects of what we're trying to do while we're a student, and then onwards a professional in this industry. Now, operating system, so different. I mean, I think some people, if you have Apple and one of you would have an Android, I'm sure there'd be a lot of arguments in the cafeteria or your tea times or lunchtime. Oh no, my this thing is better. This can do this. This can do that. So it depends on the either ease, or what dissuades you is the complexity of the other. So this is also critical of the fact you need to appreciate each other, or one or the other, and to understand that while you're operating in a hotel, you're operating in various departments. So is one department different from the other? Is the other department not dependent on one or the other? So this is also very, very important. Now, details, why do you look at specs? So are you analytical? Because that's definitely an aspect which is going to help you while you work in any designation, any role. Then why color? Color is it's a personal choice. So color, if I were to choose a red, blue, or black or something, it's what looks aesthetic to me. So it is something which one has to learn. We all of this points out at eye for detail, basically, to see and understand what is good for you, good for others. And in a working environment, if there are set standards, there are standard operating procedures, there are brand standards, there are various aspects, we need to follow those to the T. So why did I put this question? So let's talk about this. So first of all of you have to have an opinion. So now opinion doesn't mean an argument. It is just an opinion. You have to have an opinion of whatever that you're doing. So now opinion also relates to or translates into a point of view. That point of view, if communicated properly with humility and positivity, would work for you, and maybe you'll be able to put valid logic in front of others to understand your opinion, why or what or how. Okay, so this is one aspect of looking at all those details that you research and look at. Now, outlook. When you look at something and somebody looks at you, they perceive you, they understand and see that you have an outlook. So this is something which is important. So you have an opinion, a point of view, but how do you communicate and portray it? So this is absolutely important because that is what will be considered as an outlook that you're demonstrating or displaying. Now, unless you believe in something, so you have to understand and do what you do, but that belief in yourself is the other word for confidence. So this slide in particular is giving you an idea basically to say that, like I'm analytical, I'm particular, I'm compliant to whatever I need to do for my work or otherwise, or in my life, personal or professional. That brings in a belief and self-confidence, which is very critical at this stage of your life. While you are not the masters of anything, but you are slightly inclined to being directed, being honed, being shaped. So it is very important that these are the things you look for ultimately while you make your choices. Okay, if we move on to a few important slides now, I would request your attention. So career options. So this was something, which is on your mind right now. So I didn't start off with what's happening in the industry, what's going on, and all that. I kept it for the last because, what's happening now is probably not something going to, stay for long. I mean, once the vaccine is out and the pandemic is kind of nearing over, then things will normalize, and you will see that you've really chosen something which is vibrant, which keeps you alive. If you look at a person who's working the hotel and 50-year-old, and while in comparison to somebody 50 who's probably working in any other industry, you'll find the person working for hospitality smarter, more presentable, and full of life than others. So I'm probably prejudice because I've been in the industry for 32 years, but that's my belief because I've experienced this, I've noted this. So I was happy to see that majority of you, in one way or the other, are actually inclined to work in hotels. So now somebody did say hotel QSR, somebody would say airlines, hotels and QSR, or hotels and corporate. So it's actually one and the same thing. So while you would work in a hotel and also eventually would want to work in a call center or in a maybe airline or something you're publishing, this is all will need the expertise that you're acquiring right now, and you will continue to acquire while you gain experience while you work. So own businesses was another aspect of it, which I saw that like which probably you may not jump in right now, but gain experience and get into it. So you will have to have that experience in hotel or related. A QSR is like a restaurant; it's a cafe, so also a part of the hotel. So this could be a division of your choice. So what's important in this? So the important part of this is commitment. Commitment to what you have finally decided. You may have questions. You may have thousands of questions. You, your family, your friends, and many other people may be putting to you. But while you spent your time, you really, chosen something that you would want to do. You need to commit to it also with the focus on what you want to do. All that culminates into the dedication. So dedication towards what you have chosen as a career in a hotel or hotels or hospitality. You may call it in many names, but this is completely what you should look at and commit to and focus upon. This will take off a lot of other thoughts off your mind and give you that positivity that is required right now in our minds. Moving on, while we were looking at general area of interest, this was interesting. So let me put it right away in front of you. So when I look at 45.5% in food and drinks is primarily food and beverage service or culinary, that is okay. And when we look at 16.7% for rooms division, which could be front desk or housekeeping, also very important. There are 15.2% in sales and marketing, interested in sales and marketing, which is also the most important support department of a hotel, which brings in the business. And while the other departments we spoke about are operational department, which brings in the preference of a hotel. So if a hotel were to be divided into two with a focus, the first focus is to create that interest. And then while the guest is inside your hotel, you need to take good care of that guest to bring in the preference so that the person wants to come back again because of your warmth and the services that you had to offer. Now, there are many other departments here, so it's one and the same in retrospect, and it will be very important for you to understand. So, if you choose something now, it is not that you're stuck with it. No, now the most of the hotels look at a person as an individual and as a resource, and also like if you were in the middle of your second year or third year, you feel, oh no, I think I'm a better fit for front office. You'll be assessed and given an opportunity. So please keep your options open. But while you do, when you begin your career, what is important is to introspect, to see, is this what I really want to do? Does it appeal to me so much so that I would not want to do the other aspect of this job? And does it attract me so much that I can only think about it? So, but again, it is a mixture of all three. So a sales and marketing job may attract you, uh, but do you think you're ready for it? Because sales and marketing requires a lot of in-depth knowledge of the property itself and also operations. So to become a sales and marketing professional, you may have to work in the hotel and gain that experience. So it's very critical that you do that. And, again, introspect very, very clearly in your mind. And somebody who doesn't like to maybe lift a table or doesn't want to touch a soil plate is definitely not the fit for F&B service or culinary. So I just gave a small example so that you can relate to it. Okay, we'll move on. So location was another aspect. So what does location, how important it is? So this we need to really understand. So like while we look at majority of the people saying metro cities, and some people also saying 27% of people saying upcoming metros, and some people saying leisure, could be for various reasons. But this was important question because I think you will have to keep your options open. You may you like a brand, you like a department. Perhaps it could happen that you're not getting it in the preferred choice of location. In your preferred choice of location, you're getting an opportunity which really is in a different department or a different scope or at a different position. So, this is something why this question was put was you have to consider a few things. One, the opportunity which is in front of you, matters to you and is of something that really interests you, because the interest, without interest, you probably will not be able to, sustain in your specific, responsibilities. And if you don't give 100%, then you actually cannot succeed. And unless you put in the best, there is also very small or little chances of development into a better professional or better position. Okay. So short-term goals, when we saw, I'm sorry, this is some text which has come. 50% people thought they would want to grow in the position. Some people thought, better organization, and also the good majority of people to be expert in their job. So please keep your options totally realistic. Ask for feedback. Feedback is very critical. One may think something of oneself, but when you take feedback, you realize that you're actually different. You actually different from what you thought you were. So solicit feedback. Don't hold back. Don't fear feedback. Actually, go and ask for feedback so that you can better. You can change. You can make those improvements that are required for betterment. Okay. So now we come to a situational aspect. So again, I mentioned in this particular question. So does this mean it is there a right answer to this? Is there a wrong answer to this? Or what does it actually mean from the option that we chose? I'll give you a moment to just read. I'm not put the full situation. It gives you an understanding that you're traveling to visit your family after a long time, but somebody cuts the queue. How would you react? So from this set of people or group of students, we got a response in terms of how many would behave in the way they would. So 55%, which is also a majority in the group, would say that, you will ask that person, what is the reason of cutting you and going ahead? Also, a good number also mentioned that you will draw the attention of a security person about it. There were some people who thought that you will ask that person, please come back and stand in the queue like others. So that's also good. So you will stand and watch as very few people who thought that they will just wait and watch. But is that right or wrong? So let's find out. Let's find out if there was a wrong answer. So if you thought that you will ask the person to come back and stand and wait in a queue like others, so this is something uh, tells you that you're result oriented, you're assertive, confident, and initiative driven. Okay, so this seems a good answer, but let's look at the second. So you'll read and watch says something about you that you're methodical, you're patient, you assimilate and then tag. You look at the general, view what you observed, and then you act on it. When you draw attention to a security guard, that means that you are process oriented, you are systematic, you're compliant, you follow the rules and policies. Okay, that's also great. And D, I mean, you'll try to find out the reason. So says something about you as that you're a motivator or a collaborator or a people's friend. You're very friendly, you're approachable. So I'm sure you will find that most of the answers are, okay, they're good, and nothing was wrong. So it doesn't also it does also mean, or it doesn't also mean that if you chose one answer does not mean that you probably in different situation may choose the other. You probably will see that the person has cut the queue, uh, has a baby in the arm, has something which shows that is agitated and has to hurry for something of an emergency that he has while he has to travel. So those things will change your total outlook of what you would react and how you react. So these are the situation you're going to see and experience while you're a student, you are also while you're moving in society, and also while you're working. Okay, so all these are important. A good mix of it is great, and which what makes you a great professional is to be able to understand and react in a manner that that is best for the situation. Let's take a look at the second situation. Now, this situation was also atypical, and you might have experienced this many a time. And so, what does this situation say about various things? I think I'm just slightly hurrying because of the paucity of time. I think we are towards 35 minutes, and I hope to close this in 45. So if you're running at good pace, it's okay. If not, please do interrupt me. So you're late for an interview. So what do you do? So 76% of the people said you will check the notice on the left, how many people are allowed as per social distancing. And the next largest group of people said you will immediately press open the door and ask the person to come in. Now, how does that matter? I mean, which answer is absolutely right? Let's look at it again. So when you immediately press open the door for the people to come, so you're people oriented, you are friendly, you're approachable, you're somebody who cares. If you close the door immediately, you're task oriented, you appreciate the time which it'll waste while you open the door again and let another person come. So time and task is very critical to the job or any job that you do in professionally and also in the personal life. So you're task oriented. You will patiently watch. So you always think before taking an action. You're not impulsive. You do not shoot from the hip. You just make sure that you understand the situation and then react. Now you will check the notice. So you're detail oriented. You have eye for detail. You know what is right, what is logical, and you're compliant. You follow the rules. So did you find anything wrong with any of the answers? No. But when you assess yourself that how would you react, you should naturally answer which you would do. You should not do something which is not like you or which is very much unlike you, because there is no wrong answer. But if you were to, I'm not going to point at the profession which is good for what or not. I mean, if people oriented, you should work for HR, and no, I would not say that, because this is required in every place, including your personal life. So please make sure that you take a note of the result. So are you people oriented? Are you task oriented? Do you think before taking an action? Do you have an eye for detail? Are you compliant or logical in what you do or say? So very critical. Okay. So I come to a point now where generally you had to choose a topic of interest. Now, the topics of interest, I'll tell you the reason why I requested this, because what I propose is a series of such calls wherein I've given you a generic insight, but I'm going to bring in people who are experts in their field to talk about what you really want to know about. Okay. So, in general, while we said, like, that we need to understand the best behaviors. We need to know how to choose an area of specialization, uh, employability versus entrepreneurship, whether you should go for a business or maybe look for a job, or which comes first, a job or take a business up and then go for a job, or vice versa. And also to understand what's happening now in the hospitality industry. So I'm not really going to touch on these subjects in detail, but I have a good database to act upon. I will definitely have various experts speak to you about these things in the forthcoming weeks, and be able to give you an insight as to what's happening. So, but I would definitely like to just touch upon some aspect of it. So we spoke about the new normal. So now when we talk about the new normal, uh, in hotels or any other industry, the first aspect, it's not really put in the right order. It could be any, but if you choose to develop yourself like multi-skill. Now, most often you see in hotels that while you're a culinary expert or a professional or a commie or a chef de partie, you actually are interacting with the guests because most of the kitchens are live kitchen. There are interactive stations, the buffets and everything, and even guests are more open to explaining their orders to chefs rather than the service people. So if you are a combination of these things, and more often that you see that these chefs, these people in service also do a lot of sales and upsells. So that upsell part, like if somebody is wanting this, you recommend that this also goes great with it. That is kind of a job a salesperson does, and it's also part of your job. Now, many select service hotels, you would find that the job of a front desk professional as well as a housekeeping professional is mingled. So this is also something being looked at. So these are the few examples that I say. A front desk person who's able to assist in, also making a bed and also ensuring that general duties which a housekeeping personnel does, or vice versa, a housekeeping person who can assist in taking a in-room check-in is desired nowadays. Now, under the circumstances, it is important that you have a positive attitude. You really positive of what you can do and contribute from your end, being a person as a person. Now, the temperament is a simple word to understand. That do you have a temperament which is conducive? I mean, does it mean that you don't get agitated very fast and you can work under pressure and you maintain calm? Now, all these aspects are something which can be tested while you're being interviewed, also while you're on the job. So it's not that you perform well in the interview and then you don't perform at the job and you display or demonstrate exactly the opposite while you get selected for a job. So please make it a part of your life. So the new normal wants you to be multi-skilled. They want you to be really positive, and most importantly, adapt. Adapt means to change. To change, adapt, and improve your skills on daily basis. There are situations which may require you to get into a different role. So while you portray this to a person who's interviewing you, or portray this to your supervisor on the job, they will see you as a professional who really wants to grow, who really wants to do something more than what the actual responsibilities in, and that is going to be appreciated. So this new normal, I restricted to what is expected of you. I didn't really go into a lecture on what is change, what is change in the business mix, and what is change, how it has impacted the revenue growth index, how has it impacted the overall situation in your competitive set of market. So I've not really gone into that, but I've just restricted myself to what probably interests you. Okay, so we move on. In terms of area of specialization, very critical. You have the opportunity right now while you're at the college to develop some basic skills. You go for I think 4 or 5 months or 6 months of internship into a hotel. That is also very critical. You can develop your skills while you are spending your time at a college or a hotel while you're training. Please make use of it, make use of that time. And this is what will also give you a direction as to what you like and what you don't. Put in an extremely genuine effort. Now, just genuine is actually authentic. I mean, basically, it should not that my friend is doing this and I'm happy, oh, I should also be doing this. No. Yeah, what you like genuinely and what your feelings are authentic feelings for a particular area is very critical to for you to become a success and for you to be able to perform better, particularly in the type of business or profession or department that you choose. Does personality affect? Yes, it does. It does affect. So if you're a pleasant person, you know which job would suit you. If you're not, then which job would suit you. So there are many aspects to it. You need to Now, if I was a particular character and personality, and I was put into a situation and a place which is totally opposite to what I believe and look or do or enact, then I'm not going to be happy. So the important part is that I'm comfortable in what I do. So they all are interrelated. So while you choose your area of specialization, we will have certain subject matter experts come and answer questions and also tell you about what's happening, how good is this, how bad is that, rather more good than bad. Then, if there are certain questions that you may have to ask yourself, I think I just broadly put few questions which should work as a food for thought in your mind to say that, okay, I will consider these before I really finalize and put my interest on a form that I would work for this particular division or department. Okay. Next big question was best behavior. So best behavior, does it mean being polite? Of course, but you have to display positive body language. So body language does not necessarily and only mean uh, the position, the way you stand. It could be your tone, tenor of your voice, the pitch of your voice. So there are many other aspects in body language. Please put an effort and learn about it. And please be very honest. The integrity of a person is very important for a guest, for somebody who's working with you or supervising you, to know that you're honest and they can trust you. Okay. So to be able to do all that, you have to have some amount of emotional quotient. So that EQ part, which is more important than IQ nowadays, is that when you look at something, a particular task, a particular job, or any aspect which is critical to your function, you have to be passionate and emotional about it. You have to get it right. You have to make sure that you learn the right aspect, the right way to do it, and then perform in that manner. For that, you need to have knowledge. So basically it's a circle. So one or the other, it doesn't lead to one to the other. It could lead from one to the second, third, or fourth, or vice versa. I hope this makes sense to you. So I will have somebody speak about best behaviors for hospitality. Now, I'm not saying hotels, I'm saying hospitality, which helps you not only in hospitality, but in your personal life and in any other profession that you may work in. Okay. So, what are the next steps? Let's understand what I think can happen. You have a general idea of what's happening, what is required, what kind of behavior that you may need, what professionally is something that will help you to understand what you'll be good at. So this will be something our subject matter experts could talk. So this could be a learning and development person, a chef, food and beverage director, or somebody from sales and marketing. It could be anyone. So learning and development is a specific process and department in every hotel, which ensures the certain basic standards are met, the basic rules and regulation, the culture of the company is understood. So these aspects also are based on information, data. So if there is certain feedback from my guests in my hotel that my TV doesn't function properly and I'm getting feedback regularly. So what do I do? What do I do to train? And somebody says that, oh no, that person I interacted with was very rude while I was checking in. So if this was an aspect of our hotel, the learning and development person will come in and he will be able to guide you as to, what is right, what is wrong. So this learning and development person in your domain will actually offer you some kind of guidance and offer consultation if required and when required. So I propose that we will have some subject matter experts talk to you, some people from learning and development and the consultation guidance is provided to you in forum like this one. If you give your questions out to your instructor, the specific questions can be collated, and then the subject matter experts can address it, and to your benefit for your better understanding. They will also, we will have to probably develop a process in which to be able to collate this and explain to you as to how you can implement it in your life or your mind to get a better understanding. Engagement will be critical. So if you just let go of this opportunity, then you probably are letting go of an opportunity to learn from industry experts who've been in the industry for some time, who are professionals in what they do and have been doing for all this while. So it's nearing 52 minutes, I guess. So I'll bring this to a close and request if you have any questions or any comments which are brief. Maybe Paru, you would want to take up the questions from the students based on whatever else they would like to understand from the session, and share with me so that I can choose my next subject matter experts to be really really contribute and help them. Are you there, Parul?
Yes. Very good morning, Mr. Ravi Ramchandran. I couldn't join initially.
Okay.
Then I could join after about 6-7 minutes. It was a
Yeah.
fantastic session. So we all were enjoying, including some of our faculty also, those who didn't have the class session. It was really wonderful, and I'm really glad that our principal put me on through. And just now, Parul was sharing with me that you conducted a session for about 4 days at Hamirpur long ago. So
Yes. Yes.
you have been doing this for the young generation, and I would like to share with the students the vast experience that you have gained over a period of time, and at the same time, I want them to know that the success story is not filled only with roses. There's a lot of effort that one has to put in, and your entire presentation also stressed on the importance of learning continuously, as well as all the other skills which are required to be a hospitality professional, which we back at Institute go on stressing. So I'd just like to give a brief about you, since I couldn't formally introduce you. This is for the benefit of our students. Mr. Ravi Ramchandran graduated from the Institute of Hotel Management, Pusa, in the year 88. Then he moved on to become the assistant manager F&B at JP Hotel Siddharth, New Delhi. Then he took up the assignment with the Taj Mahal Hotel, New Delhi, as a banquet manager and assistant food and beverage manager. Then, of course, he became the assistant director of food and beverage in the year 2005, and for about a year and 9 months. Eventually, he became the director of conventions and events in the year 2006, November, till about August 2010, that is 3 years. Then, of course, he moved over from the Taj to the Grand Hyatt Mumbai, wherein he took over charge as the director of sales and marketing in the August 2010, and for about almost 2 years he was there in that position. Then he moved to Hyatt Regency Gurgaon as the director of events, and he was also part and parcel of the pre-opening hotel in the early first quarter of 2013. Ah, then he became the executive director, manpower planning consulting, in the year 2014 June till about February 2015, for almost 9 months. Then, of course, he moved on to another international brand, that is Carlson Residor Hotel Group, in the year 2015 as the general manager. Then he moved to from the Carlson Residor to the Radisson Hotel Group in the year 2018. And he was there for almost a year and 9 months. I think 9 seems to be a lucky number with Mr. Ravi Ramachandran. Many times he closes in with about 9 months. And then eventually he became the cluster general manager of West India Radisson Hotel Group and general manager Radisson Mumbai at Andheri. Fantastic. And it's I think the wide experience in different hotels have really the experience that you have gained. I'm extremely happy that we could connect with you, and it was a wonderful presentation. And then after we finish this session, I'll get back to you with some of the aspects about the presentation which we would like to learn. There are one or two aspects which we are not familiar, because of course only this year we started learning about online sessions. So some of us colleagues were wondering certain aspects of the presentation which probably you could teach us too. So it was very nice. And Mr. Ravi Ramchandran, students could not connect, more than 100 students could not connect through the meet. So we will be playing this once again to the students. It will be very nice if you could share the presentation with us. Otherwise, also, I think one or two of us were recording it, because it was something which we would like to cherish and share once again with those who missed. And now the forum is open for the students to pose the questions. I'm sure they have quite a few questions with such an expert. And I'm sure one question which pops up in their minds is, how do we reach your position? Of course, I've shared the ladder of success, but then our present generation wants shortcuts. So if there is any shortcut which is available, do share. But I'm sure in this hospitality sector, there is no shortcut to success. You have to learn things as you go by, and you have to ascend one step at a time. I hope I
Sure,
have.
sure, sure. No, thank you first of all for the opportunity, and I thank Mr. Thakur and yourself for following up on this. And as you mentioned, if I were to give a shortcut for success, I would point out to a couple of slides which I made. So be genuine, make sure that you whatever you do is authentic. Make sure that you're humble in how you're portrayed and perceived, and make sure that your dedication and the commitment to what you're doing is with such a focus that it shows you as a person who can achieve anything. Now, once you're able to demonstrate these traits, then it's a sure shot mixture for success. And it is important that once of course people may think that this is a shortcut, I'll work in this department and I'll probably achieve a certain position more or quicker. But that's not probably the right way to do it, to be able to achieve something which doesn't interest you, or which makes you not really the way you would be happy working for one position or department. So I think, as ma'am said, no shortcuts. It is a lot of perseverance, a lot of hard work, and dedication, which goes into being a success. And even if you're not, you don't consider a position a success, but being a professional who knows the job and does it really well is a measure of success too. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ravi, if you could kindly switch on the video, we would like to have a picture with you and the students, of course, which goes into our magazine, and also a record for our set of events that we organize. So could you kindly switch on the video?
Sure. Unfortunately, my camera was coming a bit hazy. Just give me a second.
Okay.
There you go. So I was presenting, as well as the bandwidth was kind of slightly skewed, so I
Okay.
put off my camera. But nice
Okay.
to see you, and
Yes.
I wish I could see all the kids and their bright faces.
The open invitation is there. And then, as I shared just now, Parul mentioned long back, you had a presentation for, or rather, organized a workshop for 4 days. Once things become normal, definitely we would love to have you back at IHM Hyderabad. You could stay with us, and then we could definitely, the students will benefit. And of course, back at IHM Hyderabad, we are more than willing to do anything for our students. especially industry connect is something which we are all the time looking for, because what we teach here theoretically, definitely there can be a gap. Of course, we are all trying all the best to stay in tune and at the same time imbibe whatever is happening, but still from the horse's mouth is what we want the students to hear. And many things, yes, we do keep telling them today, whatever your presentation, whatever you have told them. But definitely, when it comes from a successful person like you, it goes straight into their head and they do remember and they will take it for granted. Yes, what these people have been all the time, this thing hitting us, this is, yes, it is valid, and what they have been telling is something worthwhile to listen to. Okay. So students, any doubts, any questions, anything that you want to ask, please feel free. And Mr. Ramchandran is quite busy. He was telling me this morning, I connected with him sometime early morning, about 12 o'clock, 12:15. And then I found that he was up in his office by 7:15. It's like, I'm sure he's my age since he passed out in the year 88. So we are of the same batch. So I also passed out in a little earlier than you, of course. So I'm sure he's in his 50s. So something for you to this thing take back is that if you want to catch the worms, as the saying goes, you have to be an early bird. Now, our students got used to the idea of attending classes a little later in the afternoons, because morning sessions we allowed them to be, since the classes are taking place in the afternoon, a little later. But then now today onwards we are starting the practicals and theory, so they are going to be up by 9 itself. So 7:15 itself, I got the message, and he was all set for his presentation. What I want all of you to know is that you have to be up and about, and you have to be extremely active, and you must plan your day so that you are able to achieve what you want. If you get up late, then everything goes for a toss. And at the same time, whatever you have planned, you will not be able to achieve for the day in question. Okay, over to you. Ayan, Abhinav, Aprajita, any of
I,
you?
even if these students are, I'm happy to also take questions. Otherwise, you could send me those questions and I can answer them.
Okay.
Or, like as I mentioned, so in case there are certain set of questions and they belong to a particular subject or a line of thought, I can have some subject matter people also come and answer them. But of course, I'll wait for the questions. I think some people were trying to speak. Yes, please go ahead.
Anyone? I think they
Good
got.
morning, sir.
Yes,
Good
I.
morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. My name is Ayush Tiwari. My question is that most of us focus on the technicals while giving less attention to the soft skills. So I wanted to ask as how much important is to maintain the balance between the two, or as to focus on the soft skills more than the technicals. So what is the right balance?
Okay, so Ayush, it's a great question and which actually troubles a lot of people. So there is no balance that you have to create. You probably have to understand that you cannot live without the other. So, uh, can I live with only drinking water and not breathing in oxygen? So this is the way I would relate these two aspects to it. So the soft skills, so to say, are part and parcel, or you can say a prerequisite. So if it is required post, it is also required pre. So I would recommend that while you practice those soft skills, this is what I was talking about in my session, or talking about humility. You may relate to the body language and other aspects which you may translate as soft skills. So if I were to say that, okay, 50-50, no, it's not correct. You have to be 100% professional and also be 100% humble, or have an understanding of the soft skills that are necessary to do your job. Okay, so I would say there is no right equation. There is no right equation, but you would require 100% of both to be able to do your job personally as well as in a profession. I hope you're on. I hope you I answer your question. So you can't ignore one or the other.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, I have one more question.
Please go ahead.
Sir, you told in the presentation that we have to answer naturally. So,
Correct.
sir, my question is that during the interviews, some of us hide our true personality or modify it accordingly so as we can project the best of ourselves. So, sir, is it okay to do that, or should we stick to what we really are?
Absolutely, Ayush. You need to display your personality. So do not go with a script. Do not go with anything which is something that you're not. So, but having said that, so now suppose you have a script and you have to probably cover one, two, three, four, five things which demonstrates or display your capabilities or your learnings. Make sure you portray them in your own words, in the way you would want to present it. But no, I would not recommend that you go and talk like an Amitabh Bachchan while you're a Shah Rukh Khan. So you'd rather be a Shah Rukh Khan. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, anybody else?
Good morning, W sir. Good morning, Saraswati ma'am.
Good
Uh,
morning.
this is this is Abhishek here. I have a question regarding the set of questionnaire that you had sent us earlier. So, when you're analyzing the question along with us, I observed that most of the answers signify a particular trait of a human being. So, I want to know that is this something similar that they use to analyze a personality before we apply for a job, or is this something similar to the personality test that we undergo?
So again, a good question. See, there are many companies who go for a psychometric test just to understand the personality of a person. As I said, there were no right or wrong answers to what you portrayed, but a certain mix is always good. But while you're answering a question, and out of the multiple choices, you have only one to check or pick, then it should demonstrate the closest that comes to your personality. But to answer your question, not all the companies go for the psychometric test. But lately, I've seen that many people, many brands, and many companies have, and especially while you start working with them, and as you progress, at every step or two, they do assess you based on such tests. So, but please don't fret about it. You need to always present what is right for your personality and the truth about what you feel and how you feel about a particular subject. So it is not, as I mentioned, there is nothing which is wrong or right, but we may look at those answers to assess whether you fit the profile that we are looking for. But again, don't get into something which makes you unhappy and you're not really meant for that particular role. You could answer all the things wrong and get that position, but you'll not ever be happy in what you're doing. So please always be truthful. And to specifically answer your question, yes, that there are few companies who do it, but not all. And if you are actually demonstrating various aspects which I mentioned in my presentation of your body language and others, that should be sufficient for now in your position right now. Okay, but you please be aware that in future, yes, it will be required.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much, sir.
Mr. Ramchandran, this is one area, that is psychometric test is one area wherein we are not able to give the right kind of inputs, because many times students do ask us what can be the probable questions, what should be the best way to attempt it, and so on. So this is one area. Definitely I'll get back to you with some of my seniors, and then probably some samples that you have, probably we can share it, and then give it for analysis for students too, if it is possible?
See, it is possible, but while I say I would not like to give a set of psychometric tests. Okay, this is the way you would answer,
No, no,
and this is the right
variation
fit for
can
citizen
occur,
model.
but
But
at least,
samples, if you
yes.
want samples, I would recommend that you take them online
Okay.
and do it, because I know Thomas assessments, ACA, and all that. They sell you the psychometric test.
Okay.
So what I would do is I'll give you references from where you can actually see some references. My wife works for Thomas Assessment, so I'm sure
Okay.
you'll be able to help. I'll send you some links where
Okay.
you can practice.
Okay.
My
Fine.
my my again my submission is, please be truthful in the way you do your psychometric test. Otherwise, it will give you a look into your personality, that introspect thing you're looking at. But if you not answer it truthfully, then it may show you a very different picture of yourself. I will
And
share with you. I've noted it down.
you can't be donning somebody's role all the time, isn't it? The originality
Correct.
will have to come out.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Anyone else? Any more questions? I'm sure there are so many questions popping up in their minds, but then I think there's
I'll be happy. Please do collate them so that I can group those questions and
yes.
have the right person answer those questions for them. It'll be a pleasure to be able to help anyone. So, like you said, Hamirpur actually I visited twice. And
Uh-huh.
during the time, 9 months, I took a sabbatical. It was for the sole purpose of visiting colleges and giving
Ah, we
lectures
missed it.
to
We
the
missed it.
students. Yeah, to the students as well as instructors. I did a big session for IHM Gurdaspur also,
I see.
based on training need analysis. Then
Okay.
IHM Faridabad also shot
Okay.
session there. So I did 3 or 4 such colleges in that short period.
Okay. Okay.
So I'll be
But
happy to. Please do collate the questions and get back to me. I have to actually put a hard stop because I have an engagement
I
in just five
understand. I
minutes.
understand. I
But it
understand.
was really a pleasure to be able to address bright young people, and I'm happy to come back again as and when they feel I'll be making an impact.
Thank you so much, and thanks a lot. The students are truly blessed because someone so experienced has shared his this thing entire expertise, and at the same time spared the time despite such a busy schedule. I was mentioning about being early morning, 7 o'clock onwards. He's there at his table, and he's already started his work, and he has somehow fitted in into his busy schedule this session for our students. Thank you so much once again, Mr. Ravi Ramchandran. I shall be in touch with you with regard to this subsequent sessions.
Sure.
Right?
My
Okay.
pleasure. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Bye
Thank you
bye.
so much.
Bye.